A kind heart is a fountain of gladness, making everything in its vicinity freshen into smiles. Hello everyone, this is A. Marish, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Yadava College, Madurai. Yes, I'm back to present you a summary of the short story, The Adventure of the German Student, written by Washington Irving. Washington Irving is an American short story writer, essayist, biographer, and historian. His famous works include Rip Van Winkle and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Irving is largely credited as the first American man of letters and the first to earn his living solely by his pen. William Makepeace Thackeray was the first to refer Irving as the ambassador whom the new world of letters sent to the old. French Revolution is the background of this short story. Irving begins the story thus: on a stormy night, in the tempestuous times of the French Revolution, a young German was returning to his lodgings at a late hour across the old part of Paris. The lightning gleamed and the loud claps of thunder rattled through the lofty narrow streets. But I should first tell you something about this young German. The story concerns with Gottfried Wolfgang, a German student who had come to Paris. He was from a good family, a visionary, and had an enthusiastic character. Because of these traits, when he was in Germany, he studied in depth speculative doctrines which often confused other German students. Both his body and mind were affected because of his lonely life, deep interest, and sincerity in his studies. He began to have an ideal world of his own. He believed that an evil force was hanging over him, waiting to overtake him and punish him. All these factors made him dull and worried. So his friends sent him to Paris so that he could have a change of place. When he first arrived, he was enthusiastic because of the political and philosophical theories of the time. But when he saw blood everywhere, he was disillusioned and began to live in a solitary life. He spent a lot of time in libraries reading a lot about death. Though he was lonely, he admired a female beauty and would often dream of them. Once, a female face appeared in his dream. It had a great effect on him. He was so haunted by that face that some thought that he was becoming mad. One gloomy day, he happened to pass by Place de Grève, where public executions were carried out. He was shocked to see the guillotine so close by him. It was dripping with blood. To his horror, he saw a female figure dressed in black. She was sitting on the steps, and her looks were above the common people. Wolfgang first thought that she might be a relative of the person who was guillotined that day. He went near her, and to his shock, she looked exactly the female he saw in his dream the other day. She looked pale but very beautiful. He asked her why she was there at the time of the day when the weather was also very bad. She just pointed towards the guillotine. When Wolfgang asked her if she had a friend, she replied in the negative. When he inquired her about her home, she just pointed towards the grave. So Wolfgang offered to give place in his room if she did not mistake it. After a slight thought, she accepted to go with him. Now both of them came to his apartment. When seen under light, the woman was even more beautiful. She was wearing a black dress and a broad black band round her neck, which was clasped by diamond. Wolfgang then thought of giving the room to her and finding for him a new place. In due course, he found that her grief had lessened. She looked more beautiful. His care towards her had brought her close to him. He began to narrate the dream he had about the beautiful female. He told her that the female who came in his dream was none other than that girl. They began to sense closeness between them. He asked her why they should separate and why not they get married. He assured her that he would pledge himself for her forever. After getting assurance from him twice, the woman accepted his offer. They clasped each other's hand and became husband and wife. The next morning, leaving his new wife sleeping at home, Wolfgang went out to find a more spacious room for them. When he returned, he saw the woman lying with her head hanging over the bed. Her one arm was thrown over it. He called her but received no response. He took her hand to check her pulse but found that it was cold. To his horror, he realized that the strange woman was dead. The landlord of the house was informed of the incident. When the police arrived, they were very much shocked to see the woman there. They asked Wolfgang how the woman came there. He asked them if the police officer knew about her. The police officer, to the great shock of Wolfgang, replied that the dead lady was the one who was guillotined the previous day. When Wolfgang undid the black collar, her head rolled on the floor. The already mentally affected Wolfgang cried, the fiend has gained possession of me." All those who were around tried to calm him down, but their efforts ended in failure. Wolfgang began to believe that he had been possessed by the evil spirit. He was finally admitted to a madhouse where he died. The above narration was given by an old man to his friend. When the other gentleman asked if that was a fact, the narrator told him not to doubt it and that the story was told to him by none other than the student himself. I hope you like this video. I would like to conclude this content with one of the famous quotes of Winston Churchill: "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. So pay attention to the people around you and help them what you can." Meet you in the next video with another literary work. Thank you.